Hello, Soulfire! My name is Christopher. I'm the AstroMedium and your host, Intuitive Astrologer, for tonight's weekly cosmic forecast for the week of December 13th through the 19th. This week is epic. We are building up towards this great event which is going to occur on December 21st, 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn make their great conjunction and we have the great solar event. And I am so excited to share this news with you. If you want to find me and have any questions for me about anything at all, including astrology, ascension, awakening, and all things thereof, please reach out to me at the.astromedium. Follow me on Instagram, or you can find me on my website. Go to www.christopherwithayMedium.com. Let's talk about these crazy ass energies that are happening this week. This is exciting shit. This week is going to be turbulent. For some of you, it's going to make you nauseous and sick to your stomach. Others, it's going to make you wish this week never ended, based on your natal placements, of course. So let's start with Sunday. Sunday, we've got some moon activity. The moon will be in Sagittarius, making a trine to Chiron. This is going to bring about some emotional vulnerability and sensitivity. And the moon will be making a quincunx to Uranus, which is going to make some people feel a little bit trapped and a little bit bored. Nothing too much to worry about. However, we are experiencing today Mercury in Sagittarius making a square, which is a 90-degree angle to Neptune in Pisces. This is confusing energy. I myself have a very strong Mercury in my chart. I have Mercury in Gemini, and it's in the 11th house on its way into the 12th house. So I'm very communicative, usually very sharp. But in the past 6 months or so, I've been experiencing transiting Neptune, making a square to my natal Mercury. So I am pulling in this Mercury square Neptune energy hard. And this is bringing confusion, illusion, slower mental processing, brain fog. And this is nothing to play with right now. But luckily, we have tomorrow, where Mercury makes a trine to Mars. So Monday, tomorrow, we will be sitting in some very powerful Mercury-Mars energy, which, depending on your natal placements, like I'm pulling in this Neptune energy very hard, you might be pulling more Mars energy in. And Mercury is making a trine to Mars, which is a 120-degree angle, very powerful, very positive. So for some of you all out there, even myself, I can pull this energy in. There's a lot of mental energy happening right now. There's a lot of excitement. There's confidence in the way that we're communicating. There's more masculine, divine masculine energy coming forth in our communication style within our conversations. There's some defensive energy with Mercury trine Mars, but nothing to be afraid of there. And there's just a lot of confidence. Because it's a trine, there's not as much aggression as there is drive to get stuff done. There's a lot of mental energy and a lot of mental activity with that. Where Mercury square Neptune it really makes the mental activity less sharp, like me right now, okay? So the conversations become a little bit more misconstrued, not as straightforward. Mercury trine Mars is straightforward. It's right there. It's ready to go. It's impulsive energy. And also tomorrow we have Venus making a sextile to Jupiter, which is all about abundance, which is all about good feelings, optimism, love, and socializing. But tomorrow's also the new moon, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. This is huge. This is amazing. This is epic. This is hard. So we have a lot of conflicting energies happening earlier in this week. We need to be mindful. Some we're pulling in more easily than others. With awareness, you can pull in the energies that are more suitable for you or in the direction that you want to go. But we are going to talk here in a little bit about how you can handle this new moon in Sagittarius total solar eclipse energy, what kind of ritual you can do to help ground yourself, bring in some more optimism, benevolence, and positive outlook, because right now it's hard to come by. And we are also going to talk about the major cosmic event, which is happening on December 21st, which all of this is leading to. So let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday, we've got some more moon activity, with the moon being in Capricorn, making a trine to Uranus. Thank God, this is exciting. This is going to help us free ourselves of some emotional and subconscious programming and cycles that are no longer in alignment with us. And this is also going to help stimulate some desire for something new. So this is a lot of energy coming in right now, a lot of Aquarius energy this week. So the moon making a trine to Uranus is very much needed. Also on Tuesday, Venus will be in the very last degree of Scorpio, making a sextile to Saturn. So this is a lot more grounded, a lot more structured when it comes to relationships, and this Venus energy is definitely pulling us all to reevaluate our relationships this week. Also on Tuesday, Venus will enter Sagittarius and exit Scorpio, and Chiron will station direct and enter retrograde. So that's another huge day, lots of cosmic shifts and alignments taking place that can be somewhat confusing and disorienting for us. Later on in the video, I will also be talking about some ascension symptoms that we are experiencing right now, because we just finished the Great 12-12 portal. We're on our way to the Great Cosmic Event, and I want to talk about how the hell you can handle this energy and what to expect going forward. So on Wednesday is a moon ruled day. We have no major planetary alignments going 0 degrees, although we will definitely be sitting in that new Venus and Sagittarius energy. We will definitely be feeling that Chiron shift as it's stationing direct. We'll still be pulling in that new moon energy, and it's a solar eclipse. So this is going to last for several months actually, but we'll still be sitting in that moon conjunct the sun energy a little bit on Wednesday. But for the most part, the moon is ruling it that day. The moon will be in Capricorn for most of the day, making a square and making a quincunx to the north node, first of all, which is very confusing. It's also going to make a sextile to Neptune as well, which is very much needed, as that's going to help get us more emotionally attuned, spiritually, psychically, intuitively, which we need at this time. But the moon will also be conjunct Pluto. So expect Wednesday to be very insightful, but very intense as well, and very deep emotionally, which for some of you might be very uncomfortable. So let's go to Thursday. Thursday is an epic day in history as Saturn enters Aquarius. We also have the moon in Aquarius that day, making a sextile to Chiron, which is harking back to this Chiron in Aries stationing direct. This is a wonderful day that's going to set off a new wave of the future, as Saturn is now entering the futuristic and technological and genius sign of Aquarius. And also the moon will be making a square to Uranus that day, which is Aquarius's ruler. So we've got a lot of energy that's communicating and connecting that day. Let's move to Friday, which is a very important day as we're inching closer and closer to this great cosmic event. Friday, we have the sun at 27 degrees of Sagittarius conjunct the galactic center. This is major for those of us who are aware that we're on the ascension process. All of us are, and on our ascension journey. The sun conjunct galactic center is an amazing alignment that takes place, which is really almost like putting the gear on, getting us strapped in, and giving us all the extra downloads that we need in preparation for this major shift that will come next week. We finish off the week pretty strongly on Saturday with Sun conjunct Mercury, which is an alignment of the consciousness and the mind. So there's a lot of easy flowing and positive communications that will be happening as we're really expressing who we really are by the end of the week. And we'll need this after all of these insane shifts that have been happening all at once. And Jupiter will follow suit with Saturn and enter Aquarius. So we've got the both of them getting ready to make their conjunction on the 21st, both this week, making their way into Aquarius, which is exciting energy. Jupiter hasn't been in Aquarius in 12 years. Saturn hasn't been in Aquarius really in 29 years, but it did go into Aquarius in April for a brief period when we saw the Black Lives Matter movement reach an ever increasing climax. we've seen nothing yet. 2021 is going to be an insane time for social justice and humanitarian work. We are going to see such leaps and bounds, not only in consciousness, but in technology and inclusion, and all of these different restructurings of our community and our social structures will be changing. I'm very excited for all of this. So now let's deep dive into a lot of these transits that are happening in these shifts. So again, we have a lot of Mercury activity going on this week, especially earlier in the week. Mercury making the square today to Neptune is causing a lot of confusion. Mercury square Neptune can not make you not perceive reality for what it really is. It definitely heightens the psychic senses and your intuition, but the information we're receiving is not as clear. Someone like myself who's going through transiting Neptune on my natal Mercury, it's causing this especially for me to be a little bit slower, not be as sharp, not have my words all together. It sucks. Mercury making a trine to Mars tomorrow, however, is really helping to balance that energy out. Again, we have two differing streams of energy coming in when it comes to the mind and the communication style and mental processing. So we do have a choice, but we also have proclivities or energies that will naturally pull into us based on where we are and what our natal placements are. So we want to be mindful of that. But Venus is also doing her thing this week, okay? So Venus will be sextiling Jupiter tomorrow, and this is all about abundance. Venus is money. Jupiter is abundance and wealth and expansion of knowledge. So Venus sextile Jupiter, although not as strong as a trine, is very supportive, and it makes us want to socialize. It makes us want to get out there and be around people. Venus sextile Jupiter, sorry, I got to drink some water. Everybody, you better be drinking your water. It's a shit ton of energies coming in right now. Drying my throat out. I have a lot of throat activations happening right now. Woo! Where was I? So Venus sextile Jupiter is really awesome for manifesting more money because of that conversation, that supportive conversation that they are having. And with Venus sextile Jupiter in our relationships, we are also going to be a lot more positive, a lot more positively expecting of our partners. There is an expansion as well, not necessarily getting deeper, but getting broader. This is a great time for our loved ones and our friends and our partners to travel with us somewhere, as Jupiter rules that traveling, and Venus rules how you take pleasure in things, how you put value on things. So money, love, a lot of themes happening this week, and there is a lot of reevaluating of relationships, especially as we move into Tuesday when we have Venus sextile Saturn. That is a very big reevaluation and restructuring that can happen for a lot of us. But let's talk about this new moon in Sagittarius, total solar eclipse energy. There are so many differing energies coming in right now that it can be confusing. You don't know which way to go, and you will feel pulled in several directions as well. New moon energies are usually conducive for sitting quiet, contemplation, grounding, going out in nature, recharging, resting, regrouping yourself, really making some choices about where you want to go next, as a new moon is a completion of a moon phase and the beginning of a new one. So these new cycles that are coming in, we've got to close those old ones. But this is a total solar eclipse. So the sun, the moon, and the earth are exactly aligned right now. This is a major energy transfer that we are feeling in many of our energy bodies, mental, emotional, astral. So this is a lot of energy coming in, which is, we got to prepare for that. We've got to really buckle up and get used to it. It's like we're getting trained for this great cosmic event that will happen on the 21st. So with the new moon in Sagittarius, if it wasn't a total solar eclipse, there would be still some excitement, wanting to learn something new, but more about learning about yourself, going inward, what you want, what your desires are, okay? But with this total solar eclipse, we have a lot of stuff coming to the surface. And eclipses, these solar eclipses get a bad rep traditionally, but they are, in shamanic cultures, a very healing time. And this is awesome as Chiron's going direct this week. So with this new moon in Sagittarius energy, I have a ritual that I received psychically that I think a lot of us will benefit from. I will be doing it tomorrow as well. I like to do my rituals after the 0-degree conjunction point, not before. But this week it's all about this Jupiter and Sagittarius energy and Aquarius energy, which is really helping to free us. It's all about individuality, moving more towards the future, moving in the direction we want to by our own rules. That's that energy that we're pulling in. And also the sun going into a conjunction with the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. I did receive a little download that I want to share with everybody. This ritual should include some pieces of paper. You should get a candle or a fire going. Definitely it will involve some kind of grounding technique. If you're not able to go outside, a meditation will definitely be what you want to do, but it's all about the number 9. So Sagittarius is the 9th sign and it rules the 9th house. So in these cycles of 9, you'll complete this ritual. So for 9 minutes, you will ground and meditate and release your thoughts and really get centered. And after that 9 minutes, and you can set a timer for each one of these as well, it's your intention with that number 9, which is most important. Really visualizing this 999, okay? Because 9 is completion. So you're really going to complete a cycle and begin a new one here. And with this 9 minutes of meditation, you're setting that 9 energy in motion. And then you are going to write down 3 beliefs that are no longer serving you, and you're going to light that shit on fire. Of course, it's Sagittarius energy, and fire transmutes, and that's what this is all about. Then you're going to write down 3 beliefs that you want to replace those with. And later on, or at that time, you can go bury those in the ground and let the earth charge them. It's all about your intention. And for you witches out there, you're going to love this shit. And then 3 positive affirmations said out loud. So that's another cycle of 9. And then for 9 more minutes, you're going to sit with your emotions and really feel them. Because this new moon energy is an alignment of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The sun and the moon are in alignment. So you're really going to allow all those subconscious things that are trying to surface, and you'll just write them down as they come up if you feel need to. But 999, and also 9 times 3 is 27, and the galactic center sits at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So, bam! I highly recommend you do this, as this is also pulling in that galactic center energy. And the galactic center is the gateway to the great central sun, which is the source of everything. So this is what this is all about this week. So now let's dive into a more structured Venus energy, and this is Venus sextile Saturn. Venus is right at the edge of Scorpio. She's right at the end, and she makes her sextile to Saturn. And I love this energy because Venus sextile Saturn is like a sugar daddy and his sugar baby, okay? And I just imagine Venus being this hot, beautiful stripper. She's at the club. Daddy walks in, he's gonna save this stripper, but she doesn't need no saving, okay? And Venus is smart. She loves to do what she does. She's beautiful, everybody wants her. But Father Time, Zaddy, Saturn, has different plans for her. He wants to take her home. So there's a conversation that begins to be had, and that's this sextile. And sextiles are 60-degree angles, which is half of a trine, and that's very supportive. So they're helping each other with something. And this energy is going to transfer into our relationships, but also into our investments and our money. Because remember, Venus is all about money. It's not about abundance and wealth. It's just about value and that sense of money and currency. And Saturn is all about structure, discipline. So Venus is going to bring out that more generous, nurturing side of Daddy Saturn. And Saturn loves to reward people for their hard work. And Venus was up there on the pole working. So he rewards her and she gets her bag. But Saturn teaches Venus also there's discipline, there's structure that needs to be set forth, and there's hard work involved in earning what I have to offer you. So it's, I can hear city girls playing right now with this Venus sextile Saturn energy, but in our relationships, that's a great time to get engaged or to set forth something long term, like let's buy a house together. This is also a great time in investing in cryptocurrency, real estate, something long-term, responsible, structured, and physical. That's what Saturn represents. And that Venus sextile Saturn energy, it will be quick and fleeting, so take advantage of it while you have it. And then shortly after that sextile takes place, Venus is going to shed her scorpion skin, and she's going to dive headfirst into the fiery pits of Sagittarius. She is excited as she has been weighed down. She is tired of being in Scorpio. When Venus is in Scorpio, she is intense. She is scrutinizing. She's obsessive about her partners. She's extremely loyal, however. She is so intuitive and she knows what her partners need. She finds the occult and dark things and dangerous things and scary things beautiful, and she is tight with her money. But Venus is now entering Sagittarius. And when she enters Sagittarius, she's got so much more freedom. She feels more alive. She wants to live life to the fullest. She's ready to get out here and mingle with different cultures and different ways of life. She doesn't want to be bored. Venus is not very loyal when she's in Sagittarius. She's more expansive. She wants to be more flirtatious. She wants to see what's out there. She wants to play the game. And she's very direct with her partners. And she's very passionate. But it's a come and go kind of energy, okay? So we're going to feel this energy very strongly shift. And for me, this is very powerful. My Venus is in Leo. So Venus in Sagittarius is going to make a trine to my Venus, which is going to stimulate me very positively. And where I've just had a Venus square here recently. And this is very important for us, as this is all moving towards these energies here. So we've got Venus entering Sagittarius. The Sun and Mercury are still in Sagittarius. The Sun is going to make a conjunction to the galactic center, which is in Sagittarius, so which is very similar in certain ways to a lot of this Aquarius energy that we are pulling in now as a collective in society, as we are making our way as a planet towards the age of Aquarius. So also on Tuesday, Chiron has been retrograde for 5 months, and this has been very hard for a lot of us, as Chiron is the wounded healer, and with Chiron's retrograde, this has been all wound, no heal. And now we've got integration phase coming in. So Chiron is, yes, it's about wounding, but it's all about healing as well. It shows us how you can heal others, how you can heal yourself, what gifts you have of healing others. And while Chiron was in retrograde, it was a lot of come to Jesus moments, okay? A lot of realizations coming to the surface. I know what happened to me now, and I didn't remember it before. I know that I need to work on this. I have this genetic wound that I need to heal. And it's been a lot, especially this year, everything hitting at once. And Chiron being in Aries, this is very up close and personal for us. Aries rules the first house and is the first sign of the body and the self. So this has really been affecting us on a physical, very visceral level, and it's been affecting our sense of self as well. So Chiron going retro shade is lightening this energy, and that's going to happen on December 15th. And what is retro shade anyway? So retro shade is the term for the shadow period that precedes and follows every retrograde, and every planet has a post and pre-retro shade phase. And for Chiron's retro shade, this is all about integration of healing. And although every planet, including Mercury, Venus, and they all have retrogrades, they also have a retro shade period. Chiron's retro shade, to me, is one of the most important. And with this retro shade, I liken it to a post-plant medicine journey integration ceremony or session. I do plant medicine healing, so this would be, like ayahuasca or iboga, psilocybin, whatever tickles your fancy. I definitely partake in plant medicine. This is a way that I want to connect and heal. And part of the ceremony is you're in it, you're journeying, but then the day after you have integration session where you all share your experiences, and then you can work with your medicine person or your shaman to have a one-on-one integration session where you're really dissecting what happened to you, really picking all the petals and getting into the nitty-gritty of it and letting all the pieces fall into place. Everything clicks back into order, and you're really taking the experience you had and not just letting it be some blob of memory. It's actually something meaningful that you are taking and from your subconscious and applying it to your conscious mind and really owning it and moving forward with it. And that's what this Chiron retrograde is going to gift us with, and it's about damn time. So now let's move to Wednesday. Just be mindful on Wednesday, there's a lot of moon activity, so there will be a lot of ups and downs emotionally happening. Lots of psychic downloads happening as well, but we are preparing for Thursday when Saturn enters Aquarius. This is an incredible time, and my Saturn's in Aquarius, so I am preparing and sitting in the energy of my Saturn return, and I can't tell you how excited I am as it's been like click, 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 click up the roller coaster. I'm ready to take that dive and get this shit started. So Saturn entering Aquarius is very important for us at this time. Saturn has been in Capricorn for the past 2.5-ish years, and it's very comfortable in Capricorn as it rules Capricorn. So we've seen a lot of restructuring happening to our society, to governments, to laws. A lot of different things have been restructured, especially this year with this Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened, and now with this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction that's about to happen. We've got major energies at play, but now shifting to a new energy of Aquarius, which is all about communities, friend groups, technology, the future, rebellion, rebelling against the status quo, doing something different. The genius is ruled by Aquarius. Albert Einstein is sun sign in Aquarius, and this is energy that propels us forward. So Saturn in Aquarius is very interesting, and people with Saturn in Aquarius are also rebels, and we have a issue with authority, especially because we want to challenge it and do something differently just for the sake of doing something different. And this energy will be at play for the next couple of years. And Saturn did go into Aquarius earlier this year in April, which gave us a little hint of what was to come when the Black Lives Matter movement exploded. And this is important to know because this is going to intensify social justice. Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac. So Saturn being in Aquarius means we're going to have a lot of restructuring going on with our social justice issues and in humanity as a whole, as well as technology, which is really exciting. You thought technology was cool up to this point? Yeah, the aliens are giving us technology. It's true. But man, with these Uranus energies and Aquarius energies coming in, we've got major advances in technology coming, and I am so excited for that. Now, Jupiter on Saturday will also be going into Aquarius, but before we get to this great cosmic event, let's talk about the Sun conjunct the Galactic Center, because that's kind of like the bouncer at the door for this club that we're about to enter. And the Sun is our sense of self. It's the light we're shining on our life. It's what we came here to learn and become. It's also our ego, and it's the consciousness that we are and our conscious vitality. And it will be exactly conjunct at 27 degrees of Sagittarius in alignment with the Galactic Center, which is not really talked about in astrology a lot, and it's missed, and it's very important. The Galactic Center is our gateway to the Great Central Sun, so there's an upgrade that will happen, and that's just 3 days before this great cosmic event. And this is important because it's almost coding us and upgrading us and putting some armor on us and preparing for us, checking our ID and making sure we're good to go before we enter. And this is needed at this time because there's a lot of people that are about to enter this new age, this new world, without their seatbelts on because they just didn't know it was coming. So this gives us a little bit of an energetic intro. And with Saturn and Jupiter both entering Aquarius this week, we've got major energies that we will feel on a collective level shifting. But then on December 21st, 2020, we have Jupiter and Saturn making an exact conjunction on that day of the winter equinox in the sign of Aquarius. This is huge. This is epic. It would have been epic anyway if it were not for the fact that this is also the true end of the Mayan calendar, if you will, and the apocalypse that was supposedly supposed to destroy the earth. And all this apocalypse actually is an upgrade in consciousness and a clearing away of the old and a bringing in of the new. This is so important and major. Jupiter and Saturn were the biggest cosmic event in the sky for the ancient people. They didn't know what Chiron and Uranus and Neptune and Pluto were. So for them, this was known as the Great Conjunction, and we still call it a Great Conjunction because it is. Astrologers will follow these Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions, and there are a lot of major changes that happen to global structures, let alone having a Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the same year and a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. This year's been epic. It just is what it is. But these two are in the sign of Aquarius. All that Capricorn energy was keeping us very grounded. There was a lot of stuck energy, moving very slowly, very steady, but very slowly. This is going to move quicker. Aquarius energy is electrifying. The last time Jupiter and Saturn were in the sign of Aquarius was 1285. So it's been about 700, 800 years since this has happened. And Jupiter and Saturn will be conjunct, and we will see it in the sky. The last time it was visible this way was in the 1600s, I believe. This is another rare occurrence that's happening. And it's also important to know that they claim that the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction of 7 BC was actually the Star of Bethlehem that they talk about in the Bible, because it will look like a big star. This is incredibly rare that this should happen, and it's also incredibly rare that it should land on the winter equinox. I don't think this has happened in 3,000 years. On the winter equinox, on the day that we are beginning the fifth dimension and truly letting go of the third and moving into the next age, if you will. The age of Aquarius does not begin on December 21st, 2020. It begins when the sun is in alignment with Aquarius at the vernal equinox. That is not at this time, but we are pulling more of this energy into our society because this is where we're headed. That is the future, and Aquarius represents the future. But this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is so monumental in and of itself, let alone there will be a major solar flash and solar storm that will occur on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. This alignment has not happened in so long. This is a major recalibration, and you could say like leaving your phone overnight to take the upgrade. A lot of us have been experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms, and we have been doing our own work, having lots of spiritual awakenings, kundalini awakenings, all kinds of experiences that are out of a movie, and now this is going to affect the next wave of people, light workers, starseeds, empaths, highly sensitive people. Prepare yourselves for some major energies to come, and that's what I want to talk about now. So we have been experiencing solar storms for quite a few years, and in this year we've had an incredible amount of solar storms that have been happening. These coronal mass ejections that when the sun erupts, it sends waves and waves of light plasma to the earth. They are also correlating this with the spike in the Schumann Resonance. The Schumann Resonance is basically the vibe or the frequency of planet Earth, and this is so important to understand because we are Earth. The Schumann Resonance used to oscillate or vibrate between 7 and 13 hertz, which is the same as our alpha brainwave frequency. So we were connected to Earth even on a frequency brainwave capacity. But this year we have seen some major spikes in the Schumann resonance, getting up to 45, 55, 75 hertz, 100 hertz. There are reports that I have heard of the Schumann resonance here in the past week getting up to 1,000 hertz. I have tried to do research on this and couldn't really find anything, but if that is true, no wonder I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now. So let's get into some ascension symptoms that are happening. The 12/12 portal was yesterday, so there was an alignment that took place that signaled some energy domino effects. Okay, so things are clicking into place. We are moving up the roller coaster. We are just about to stop that clicking, take that first little dip before we really take that first dive. So there are a lot of head symptoms happening right now. Third eye activations, crown activations, a lot of back of the skull stuff. And I am going to ask my team to kind of come in and help me a little bit, because I want to make sure I'm getting this accurate. There are things I'm experiencing, but there are also things that people in the collective are experiencing as well. Okay, they're starting. So solar plexus stuff a lot. There's a lot of digestive stuff happening, and I'm going to ask them to go slow. Okay, there's a lot of digestive stuff happening right now. Changes to enzymatic stuff. There are things happening with the spleen as well. There's new chakras that are forming, or new energy centers that are coming online that we haven't had before. Lots of burning and warm sensations in the center of the chest, heart chakra activations, heart palpitations, but this will also feel like you have anxiety, but you're not worried about anything, and you're also not necessarily losing your breath. It's not that it's hard of breath, it's just all in the chest, lots of heat in the chest and in the upper back area as well. There's a lot of muscle twitching happening, spasms in the muscle, not necessarily them freezing up, but like twitching and vibrating throughout the body. This will definitely be happening in the legs and the feet, a lot of times in the arms. This is energy that's moving through the body, hitting different blockages, hitting different densities and clearing them. You need to trust and just act like there's a bunch of little fairies going to work on you. That's kind of what's happening, especially if you've had Kundalini awakening or your Kundalini is awakened. You probably know what I'm talking about with a lot of these symptoms because you've already experienced that. But for many of you in the collective, this is going to happen more and more, and you're going to go, what the hell's happening to me? Because you may not know anything about ascension or awakening, and you might get drawn to this video, synchronistically, and it'll be very important for you to understand that you're not crazy, you don't have anything wrong, and you need to get the hell off WebMD. Also, they're talking about ear stuff. I have not been getting a lot of ringing in the ears, but there are a lot of tones and ringing in the ears they're talking about. Pressure, popping. There's a lot of teeth sensitivity, but more so like jaw and sinuses, but it has nothing to do with allergies or the time of year. It's like an aching here, all in here in the jaw, as the third eye and the crown chakra, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland are receiving more light energy. They're expanding, which is causing almost like a growing pains within the skull. There's a lot of throat activations happening right now, and this is causing all of this that's happening up here is causing a lot of dizziness and lightheadedness. People are experiencing some nausea as well, because that has a lot related to the digestive changes that are happening right now. You'll notice all of a sudden foods that you are normally able to eat, you're not able to eat anymore, or when you do, it's just not sitting well anymore. There's a lot of fatigue. You really want me to talk about this, the fatigue. It feels like I can't go to sleep, but I'm also so tired. My body is tired, but my brain is extremely active. I'm receiving so many downloads. I'm receiving so much information, but my body is tired. Time dilution, where it feels like you're losing track of time, or things are going faster or slower, or that there's time missing. You're like, I can't remember what I just did. There is a lot of recalibration going on in the brain right now as well, and visual changes. So of course, people on the ascension and awakening path or journey will be seeing a lot of orbs, spirits, energies, auras, but there's a lot of blurry vision and lack of vision happening, where it's like, oh my gosh, am I starting to go blind, or do I need glasses all of a sudden, where it's like you can't seem to make things clear? There's a lot of things happening to the optic nerve right now. Um, mm, Definitely lots of inflammation and some swelling and things like that going on. So it feels like aching in the body. Okay, they're talking about a lot of people are getting some activations up here in the thymus gland, and it feels like we've got some energies happening right now. You could say, like, the more you speak your truth, the more it'll open your heart. The more you open your heart, the more able you are to speak your truth. There's a connection that's happening right now between the heart and the throat chakra, a very heavy connection. And do not be surprised as well if you start feeling really hot out of nowhere. It's like body vibrations are happening, and you can feel cold while you're vibrating, or you can feel hot while you're vibrating. It's like the heat in the body seems to come out of nowhere, and a lot of you are also experiencing cold and flu symptoms that come and go so quickly. This just happened to me the day before the 12/12 portal. I started to feel a little weird, and yesterday I felt like I was hit by a bus. My body was aching. I was tired. It was like I thought, oh no, I need to go take my vitamins. And of course, I take things. Magnesium is very important right now. Earlier today, they were wanting me to tell everybody that minerals are very important right now. Digestive changes are happening, so you must honor that about your body. More throat stuff. They're talking about scratchiness in the throat and vocal changes. Your voice will sound somewhat different as well. Not to be alarmed by this. There's changes happening to the thyroid, and so this is going to cause a lot of fatigue as well, because there's hormones that are being disrupted, and this is all going to stabilize at some point. Some people are going to experience some dis-ease or things that will come to the surface that will need to be treated, and it will be very physical and real. You must address these things. There is a lot of densities, emotions, old programming that wants to come to the surface. It's trying to free itself and purge itself from the body. And based on your personality and your belief system, it's going to lodge itself somewhere, but it's going to come out in a specific way. There's a lot of genetic traumas and wounds that are happening right now, so a lot of you will start to, oh, that's interesting, it's almost like phantom pains, but they're also talking about a lot of us will start to have symptoms of having something that heart issues, high blood pressure. Is that cancer, where you might have a scare of some kind? You go to the doctor and there's some kind of scare, but it goes away. So don't think that you're going to die. Don't think that it's a life sentence. A lot of times you are moving a genetic predisposition out of your body, not just a trauma or a wound or a consciousness programming. Like abuse and emotional stuff. It's also physical stuff and dis-ease that is based off of those beliefs and those emotional programmings that are going to come out right now. They are also talking about skin rashes, which I thank God have not had any of that. Rashes, breakouts, and itchiness of the skin, but it's things that are coming out of the skin as well. And yes, it's for a lot of you, you need to use your own guidance and your intuition, because you're not going to know, yeah, well, am I just breaking out because of my fabric softener, or is this Ascension? So please be mindful. Don't diagnose everything as Ascension, although much of it actually is. For those of you who are finding this video, okay. I'm pretty sure I'm getting some angelic energy here. So there's either these are some angels, or there's, okay, purple, blue, green. So Michael, and whichever ones are purple and green, where their colors, I guess they all are associated with colors. I'm not as familiar with the angels and who their colors and things like that. But they are talking about there's a lot of us receiving angelic guidance right now and seeing them and feeling them, and this is real. They're saying there's nothing to be afraid of. They're saying there's not some major war going on. There's not, this is just part of the cycles of the universe. There's not some good versus evil happening. You could call it that in your 3D or your very human perception. You could call some of these energy exchanges that are happening good and evil, darkness and light, battles between the dark and the light, but it's not really like that. It's just energy that's hitting up against higher vibrating energy and having to be transmuted, not necessarily going down without a fight, but there's a lot of transmutation and energy transfers that are happening right now. And we don't need to be afraid. They're talking about a lot of people are transitioning out of certain religious programming and beliefs really fast. So a lot of you went from oh happy day to oh happy universe real quick. And it's happening very quickly, and it's kind of a blow to the ego, and it's kind of like a whirlwind moment. And they're saying, trust this, keep going. Yes, all of it's connected. You can align everything, but your consciousness is upgrading, so we are upgrading out of the control and the limitations of religious structures and programming. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. I will say that we need to be drinking lots of water, grounding, taking showers and clearing your energy. Okay, so maybe taking a shower day and night, not just at night, or just in the morning, doing it day and night, because we're doing a lot of healing and clearing in our dream time as well, which is electrically charging us. I've been getting so many dreams, and I do want to say out here in public some of the dreams that I've been having. So I did have a few dreams here recently about being on ships or spaceships, and I have been writing them down. And just the other day or other night, I had a dream that I was in a ship. I had to be taken off of Earth because something was happening to Earth, but I couldn't see it because the ship was facing another way. It almost felt like Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't look back. And I'm not saying that the Earth is going to explode or anything. This was somewhat symbolic or meaningful. But there was another Earth-like planet in our solar system that the ship was orbiting by. And when I looked down out of the window, and I said, oh my God, that looks like Earth. And someone over here, I don't remember who it was, they said, well, what planet is that? And I heard Nibiru. So for those of you who are familiar with the Anunnaki and Nibiru and the Emerald Tablets, I have heard that Nibiru's supposed to make its way back at some point. I don't have all the data and facts on that, but I found that very interesting. And I have had a lot of my friends having dreams about the sun ejecting things, and I think that's what my dream was about, was some kind of reunion or coming back of this other life form, of this other planet, and also something happening on Earth that I was separate from or protected from. This could be the splitting of timelines that is taking place. So, this is a lot of energy, everybody, and I know that it is confusing. There's a lot of shit I said in this video that's probably very overwhelming, and you probably want to do your own research on, and go do it, baby. I highly recommend anything that I talked about tonight. Aquarius, conjunctions, galactic center, solar flares, Schumann resonance. Go do your own research. Really understand that science is measuring a lot of these occurrences that are happening right now. And to think that this light plasma and this shift in energy that is being emitted from Mother Earth is not affecting you in any way just does not make sense, okay? So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I hope you navigate these energies with ease and grace. If you have any questions for me, please reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at the@AstroMedium. If you're not following me, you should be following me already. If you would like to book a reading with me, we can look at your natal chart, we can talk to your loved ones, We can do whatever they feel like doing because they definitely have an agenda. You can reach me at www.christopherwithayMedium.com, and I have several options for you there. You can also find me at Eclipse over Roswell here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am the in-house intuitive astrologer for them. So for a lot of you who want to take astrology classes with me, you've been reaching out with me or reaching out to me, I want to work with you. I want to learn more about astrology. I teach astrology every Wednesday at 7 p.m. in store or on Zoom for those of you who are not in the Atlanta area. Please join me. You can go to visiteclipse.as.me/astro to pre-register for that. And it's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we cover all kinds of topics from aspects, conjunctions, trines, all that kind of good stuff, the houses, the signs. We just covered medical astrology and the anatomy and which parts of the body are ruled by which planet and sign. So we are really diving into some really good shit. And if you're wanting to learn, I'm the person you want to go to. All right? So everyone, I will see you next week here for another cosmic forecast. Be there or be square.